Alright, welcome back, good people. On this video, I want to talk about money. Right. You like that, right? Me too. I want to talk about some tips I've learned about money from a guy that I've been studying for about 10 years now by the name of Steve Siebold. S-I-E-B-O-L-D. He actually is a motivational speaker also. Goes from place to place talking about different things. Really nice guy. I had nothing but the best things to say about it. But he wrote an article, and I wanted to share some things in that article with you. All this is him. I'm just sharing with you. And maybe it will help, get a perspective on where you're going and help you move some things in your world. Because when we deal with money, a lot of times we weren't taught about money. We weren't taught to understand money. We weren't taught the way people look at money. And sometimes just hearing things opens your mind to some things, right? Some things you hadn't even thought about. So that's why I like to share information, because just because I didn't come up with the information doesn't mean I don't think it's good information, and I don't think that people shouldn't hear it, because I do. I believe that if I hear something that kind of made me say, well, you know what? I think that's a great idea. I don't think the next person wouldn't say that either if they got a chance to hear it, right? Which is where I come in, because I have platforms set up, podcast shows, videos, books, blogs, things that I share information, right? So I can just pop that on there, and before you know it, you will get a chance to hear exactly what I heard from the author or the creator or whoever created that content. Isn't that a beautiful thing? That's the way it works. And that person can then you can reference that person and get more information in line with what they shared, right? They like that, because that's like having a link. Like if I put a link with Steve Siebold on my videos or in the description, you can click on that link and go to his website, right? But you can also go to stevesiebold.com, right? He talks about study the differences in thinking between the middle class and the wealthy. We kind of don't have a middle class anymore. It's kind of like either rich or poor, right? Not necessarily poor, but there are people who are in what I call struggle mode, but they're not really poor. They're not really broke, but they paycheck to paycheck, in my mindset, is kind of a struggle mode, because you really have almost no room for error. Almost nothing can go wrong. So I guess, even though you might be making $10,000 a month, if you're making $10,000 a month and spending $11,000, or it takes $10,500 to maintain where you are, then theoretically you are poor. You're broke, right? Because everything you have, as soon as you get it, goes out in order for you to maintain where you are. Now he said, study how self-made rich people think about money and follow their lead. Study how the middle class thinks about money so you can avoid falling into the same trap. Be careful though. There are a lot of well-intentioned people in the middle class who think they know about money, and while they have your best interest at heart, they're clueless when it comes to creating wealth. Now, do you know anybody like that? Who, anytime you bounce information off of them, they got a good idea, they got good information, but they don't have any money. They have zero money in the bank. They are not doing anything to generate money, but they always have an opinion about it, right? And then he says, be obsessed with success instead of money, which is exactly, let me say that again, exactly what I enjoy about the system that I'm part of, is that this is like a part of me. It's like something that I do. So it's not like I'm going to be upset if you take money from me. I'm going to be upset if you take this from me. Because see, this generates money. That money is a byproduct of doing what I love to do. So once you're able to understand what that is for you and create platforms that people can view you or view what you share, then you actually are creating the beginning stages of a change of life for you. That will put you on a new path, because just think about the job you have today. If you have a job and you don't really like your job, it's hard to go to work. It's hard to go to work. If we don't really like the people, it's hard to be around that on a day in and day out basis. It's hard to get up for that, right? Because you don't, with everything in you, you do not want to be there. But you need that money, right? So rather than you try to create a plan to get away, yeah, you might have to go through it for a minute, but create a plan to get away. Get you a side hustle based on what you like. Start generating a little money on the side with that. See how that works. And then it won't make you focus so much on the people that you don't like or the job that you don't like, because you'll be focusing on this. You'll be getting excited about that. You know, you'll have something else to balance that negativity or that unhappiness with, and then you'll start to create a lifestyle from that that can possibly one day pull you from that. That's how that works. Now, he says, most people think the rich are obsessed with money. While that might be true sometimes, most of the self-made wealthy are obsessed with success. While that might be true, sometimes money is nothing more than a gauge the wealth use to see if they are achieving their target or if they're reaching their goals, right? If I figure like this, by the time I create these 200 videos, I should have created resources, right? People that are watching these videos will have called me to come and speak for their organization and paid me, right? Because what I'm doing will get noticed by somebody. Maybe not you, but it will get noticed by somebody who could make that call, right? And if you have watched enough of these videos and you feel confident or believe that I'm someone that's worthy of your audience, boom, then we have a fit. If you don't, you'll just keep turning the page, right? You'll go to the next person, which I'm cool with. I have no problem with. Everything's not for everybody. But if I'm that person for you, and you would like for your audience to hear what I have to share, then you'll bring me on board, right? Now, that's just one of the things that will, in a roundabout way, take place. But there's a lot of other things that will take place kind of simultaneously. And I'll have to make a decision on which one I want to sign up for, right? Because it's my decision. I'm the one who's creating this life, or the way that I want to continue living the life that I live, right? Now, he says, see money as an infinite resource. The average person believes there is a limited amount of money, and they need to struggle and fight for their share before someone else gets it. They live in a world of fear and scarcity that says money is hard to make and even harder to keep. The wealthy see money as an infinite resource. If they need more, they simply use their minds to create more. The world of the self-made rich is one of unlimited abundance. And it's like that. You have a cap on how much your employer will pay you. It's, if you're getting paid $10 an hour, $20 an hour, $30 an hour, it doesn't matter. That's it. But when you have a business, when you're an entrepreneur, then there is no cap. If I say I'm not going to speak for your organization for less than $1,000, that means you don't even need to call me for that unless you're willing to pay that, right? Because it's going to be my choice. If I have that in my contract and you say, no, Mr. James, we can only pay you $700, then we don't have a deal. My contract says $1,000, right? 1,000. That's simple enough, right? Don't get mad at me. That's not my problem. My problem is I'm only going to speak for 1,000. That's the minimum. No, that's the minimum. I'm not saying you can't get me for 3,000, but 1,000 is the minimum. You gotta have value. You gotta create value. I'm creating value in what I do. Right? This is value. May not be valuable to you, and that's okay. Please know that it's totally okay, but it's valuable to me. And what's valuable to me, I put a price on. And if it's not valuable enough for you, then that price will be too high. And life goes on, right? That's how it works. No need to get upset. Now, the next thing he talks about is solving a problem. He says, the fastest way to make money is to solve a problem. The larger the problem, the more money you can make. What's the biggest problem in your industry or around your area of expertise? Can you find a way to solve one of these problems or at least simplify it? Creative thinking that solves problems is the highest paid form or the highest skill in the world. The more problems you can solve, the richer you will become. Think about that. The more problems you can solve, the richer you will become. Interesting, right? That's right. That's what he talks about. Now, I'm going to try and touch all this, but I'm not going to be able to get all in one video because it's a little lengthy, and I don't like to carry my videos too much longer than 10 minutes because I got a lot to do and I got a lot of content. So I'll come back later and add more to this. But before I go, I'm going to leave you with, he says, know when to use logic over emotion. The problem people run into when it comes to money is they blend logical thinking with emotions. Logic should always be used when it comes to make financial decisions. Emotions should be used to motivate you. Logic means not buying the expensive sports car. Emotion is dangling the expensive sports car in front of you like the proverbial carrot in front of the rabbit to make you work harder. That makes sense, right? So, you got to be understandable where you are. You got to identify where you are with that. When you're going in, what is it that you're seeing and how important is money? And what are you going to do once you get the money? Because once you get the money, you have to put that money someplace. That's earned income. You're going to be taxed on that money a certain way if you don't have a certain business structure set up. So just be mindful that that's how things work in the world of money, right? All right. Don't forget to like these videos, share these videos, and I'll see you on the next video. SpeakerLarry.com